Hello, everybody. This is Ring the Bell Radio, a wrestling podcast. JD here. As always, King Logan is in his box.
Yes. Yes, I am. And hello once again to my loyal, loving, and amazingly beautiful fans.
How do you know they're loyal to you and they love you?
Because it's me, dude. And
Okay.
mic drop.
You think they just come on just for you all the time?
Yeah. If I'm not here, all right, we'll do a test. I won't be on the show one day, and you put out saying, "Oh, this week King Logan's on vacation, not getting on the show,"
And our ratings will skyrocket.
The week after, I'll be back, and everyone will be there.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll let you think that they come to see you.
That I will.
You know, yeah.
I will think that.
But
It's just the truth.
But we got some news for our audience, don't we? Maybe.
We have special news.
We have special news.
Yeah.
Making his return to Ring the Bell Radio. What now? You just interrupted me again.
Listen.
Can I say anything?
Listen, the Price is Right announcer guy. Get away from the microphone and let me show you how we really do this. Ladies and gentlemen, listen up, people. Tonight, you're going to see the head of the bagel, the Rabbi Chief, acknowledge his two rabbis. Rabbi Barabbas.
That couldn't have been done any better.
Thank you, sir.
That was pretty good.
Well, thank you.
So Barris is
Thank
back.
you. It's great to be back.
Yes, about time.
Yeah,
I was on a Rabbi retreat.
Dude, we were getting worried because Mania's coming up soon.
I know, and usually you tell us when you're not going to be around. Well, I would say 60% of the time you tell us when you're not going to be around, but you always pop up like the next day or a couple days
randomly,
later.
yeah,
randomly.
We
But
get a phone call at like 4 a.m. Hey guys, I'm home. Where were you? Vegas. What? When did you go to Vegas? After Hawaii. What the do you mean Hawaii?
Those are some fun. Those are fun 2 days right there. Let me tell you.
We were walking around here, Barris, the last show, and we were like, "Where is Rabbi Barris? We have to find him." So we went like knocking on every door. There was here in the building, not just on our floor, but in the building. So just picture it kind of like the American Dream, walking around looking for Sapphire. Remember that? So it was like looking for Barris.
Yep.
Where? Let me tell you something, baby. Where is Rabbi Barris? Logan, have you seen him? No. Yes. Maybe. You go knock up on a door. Hello, Rabbi Barris. Are you in there? We know you're somewhere here.
you know what the great thing is? If you took that voice down an octave and sped it up slightly, you would be the water boy.
What do you mean I'm the water boy there? You know there, baby. No, I don't.
You sound like his dad when, at the end,
he's
that guy. We could be in the NFL.
You could be in the NFL there. Now let me tell
Didn't
you.
he ride up on like a lawnmower?
Yeah, he does. Wasn't that Winkler?
Yep.
No.
Oh no, his dad wasn't Winkler.
No, he was the coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Fonzie was the coach. That's right.
Yeah. Funny, actually. Totally off subject, but I watched Happy Days the other day.
Happy Days.
So did I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I watched an episode. Yeah, I watched an episode.
Yeah, my one was Richie had a motorbike and he was recklessly riding it and he was in the hospital.
Now, let me ask you this. Was this during the happy days when Fonzie got magical powers all of a sudden, where he'd snap his fingers and the jukebox would turn on and like a door would open? Or was this still Fonzie being cool?
Fonzie didn't have magical powers.
Yeah, he did.
He walked to the jukebox and hit it.
No,
He didn't click his fingers, he hit it.
there was
He
a
only
point.
clicked his fingers when it was a romantic scene.
I was going to say there was a point though where all of a sudden someone would go, Fonzie, we want to have some music and we don't have a nickel, and he would just go.
I want to know why you downing on the Fonz.
I'm not downing on the Fonz.
Yeah, it just sounds like you
didn't like him
downing
when
on
they
the
gave him
Fonz to
magical
me.
powers. Fonzie's cool. Hey, kiss my ass, everybody. You know.
I mean, honestly, though,
Anyway.
as a young rabbi, I tried to do that at Pizza Hut, and I got kicked out for kicking the jukebox machine.
You know, there was something when we went to Pizza Hut down in for those of you in the Pittsburgh area, down in North Huntington, Irwin area. When I was a kid, there was this jukebox in there, and one of the things that every time we would go to this Pizza Hut, somebody from our family always had to play Kokomo by the Beach Boys. I still remember it to this day. It was D29.
Wow.
Bermuda,
Yep.
Bahama, come on, pretty mama, to
Key Largo, Montego.
Chico.
Wait a minute. What are you doing singing without me? Aruba, Jamaica. I'm not going to take you. I'm going by myself. And if you don't like it, shut up. Anyway. Sorry, Vince.
He should have sang on the Pat McAfee show. It was great.
Oh,
He
my
should have.
No, anyway, before we get into the wrestling here, it's the great thing is sometimes my brother would go over, and it was either my brother or my dad, I don't remember, that they would go over and put like $3-4 worth of plays in this jukebox, and they would select just to be who they were. Every selection would be Kokomo. So we would hear Kokomo. We would hear Kokomo like 8 times in a row. I know other people had to be sitting in there going, I mean, it wasn't loud. It was just like ambiance, background music, you know, for when you wanted to play the
But
jukebox.
now you know all the words perfectly.
Yes.
Well, you know what? It was probably blasting in the back, like where they're
some
washing
poor
dishes and
old
stuff.
couple.
And they're like, "What the hell? This is like the ninth time we heard this."
I swear, the whole time we were in there for supper, once my dad goes up and he comes back just with a smile on his face, and the whole time we were eating pizza and hanging out, all you heard was Kokomo on a continuous repeat. Anyway.
That's probably why they took the jukeboxes out.
Yeah.
There's a poor
Now
old
they're all
couple.
internet based. You can find out any song you want, you know.
There's a poor old couple in the corner who are right underneath the speaker. And,
Yeah.
and the guy's like, I just want to die. Please.
You know, the last time I was in that one was about, it was right before COVID happened. We walked in there to get some pizza, and that was the first time I was in that one in like probably a decade and a half. And even though it doesn't work anymore, it's just there more for a showpiece. That jukebox is still there in the same place that when I was a little kid,
isn't it?
No, the big jukeboxes. Those were those ones that look like pianos.
Oh,
you know, like it was a floor model. Now they're small enough. They mount them to the wall because it's all tap and they search the song off the internet now. You know, this is for when they actually had to have the CD or the record in the jukebox to play it. You know, so this thing looked like a big. I shouldn't say a piano. It looked like a big armoire. You know, that's how they were.
Yeah,
like, you watch
That's
Happy
50s
Days.
juice box.
Yeah. But anyway,
Happy
it's
Days
still there.
did not have CDs in it, mate.
When you got to the late 80s, early 90s, they had CDs in them.
Yep.
Early 90s, late 80s would have been laser discs.
Whatever. Anyway, let's
I've
talk
actually played that song DJing too. And where I DJ, I've played that before too, and I get some looks for that one. So
as I just said on Pat McAfee's show about Michael Cole, there's something that also has to do with you, Logan. You're such a horrible human being.
Wow.
Can we talk wrestling now?
Yeah, we are. I was being Vince McMahon. Anyway.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
No, he was just insulting King Logan.
I was insulting King Logan as Vince. No, Vince McMahon did it. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway.
Said he's a horrible person.
So
let's talk about wrestling.
Wrestling. So this was about a month or so ago, or was it around Christmas time? Something around there. We had a fan email
Mitch.
us.
Was it
Mitch. Was it
Mitch?
Mitch? Mitch
I
or
think it was
Mike? No,
Mitch or
Mitch.
Mike.
Hold on. I
We'll have
think
to
it
listen.
was.
Look, he didn't do any research, didn't even note it down, didn't go through the
Well, I
past
knew it. I
history of
knew it
the
a while
shows,
ago.
you know.
I'm looking it up right now. Mitch. Okay, it was Mitch.
So I
Yeah,
was right
you were right, Mitch.
all
So
along.
he requested that we went shush. He requested that we.
He went shush.
He went shush. He requested that we do a review of WrestleMania 14. So all I'm going to say is, I'll run through the match card here like we normally do, and then we can talk about it as we normally do. There's a process for you.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
WrestleMania 14 happened March 29th, 1998 from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston.
Massachusetts. Say hello to Norm while you're up there. So I'm going to run through here the card. And there's something I want to point out after I run through the card that I think I mentioned to Logan as we were viewing this. But it opens up with a tag team battle royal to determine who the number one team contender would be for the tag team championships. Right, Logan?
Yeah.
Barris? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you had, I'll run through the teams here real quick. So you had the tag team battle royal. You had Savio Vega and Miguel Perez, which I think they were Los Boricuas, or they might have
Jesus
not
Christ,
been.
we'll be here for an hour.
Oh, shut up.
It was
Truth
the,
Commission,
the
Bradshaw.
big dude in the dungarees, all right, the new tag team and Legion of Doom. You don't
hold
need
on,
to
no,
speak
let me
about
read through
anyone
this.
else.
You had Vega and Perez, the Truth Commission, Bradshaw and Chains, Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown, Quebecers, Rock and Roll Express, Farouk and Kama, Jose Estrada and Jesus Castillo, the Headbangers, Too Cool, but they weren't too cool yet, the Disciples of Apocalypse, Godwins, and the New Midnight Express. Then you had the Light Heavyweight Championship, which was champion Taka Michinoku versus Aguila. The European Championship, which is Logan's favorite championship, Triple H with China versus Owen Hart. Then you have another match, which is Logan's favorite style of match, mixed tag team match.
Oh, it was amazing.
It's Mark Marrow and Sable, marvelous Mark Marrow and Sable, versus the artist formerly known as Goldust and Luna Vachon. IC Championship was The Rock versus Ken Shamrock. A dumpster match for the tag team championship. It was Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie versus the New Age Outlaws. The Undertaker versus Kane.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the WWE Championship was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels with Mike Tyson as the special ring enforcer. So there's your match card for WrestleMania 14. First thing I want to say is when we sat down and put this on, I think I told Logan, this is the first time I'm watching this since the night it happened.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have not watched it. Yeah.
And I told JD it was the first time I was watching it ever because I've not seen full time.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So for me, I remembered. I remember on Raw way back when it was going to happen. Like obviously, I knew that was the one that Tyson was involved. I knew Stone Cold Steve Austin won. And obviously, I knew the Undertaker won because the streak was happening. But as far as the other matches, I'm like, I didn't remember what happened in the matches, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I want to bring up is, as we're sitting there at Logan's house, he brings it up on the network. We see the runtime. And I went, oh, my God, this is fabulous. We're going to watch a WrestleMania that's not 19 and a half hours long. It was under what? It was under 3 hours.
It was 2 hours and 40 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. So there we are. That was my little. I mean, I thought it was great because it didn't have the pomp and I mean, they were still doing sort of like the old school entrance. I mean, it wasn't just a curtain. They had like a girder set around it, right, with like lights and everything,
and shit like that. Yeah,
shit like that. And but the one thing I liked about it is, and then we'll get into the matches. is, did you notice they'd have a match, the announcers or the commentators would say something, there would be like a 40-second promo to bring you up the speed for the next match, which that's all you needed, because we were going into this match going, look at that. We saw something that wasn't even a minute long. We know the story now. We know why they're fighting. The match would happen, boom, right to the next one. There wasn't this freaking 25 minutes of promos and commercials.
No, and those are like movie studio quality, like
But-
get you like
and hey-
up to speed on what's going
Yeah.
on, so you're ready to watch it. And
I
it
mean-
wasn't like a bunch of a bunch of like filler. It was literally telling you everything you needed to know
Yeah.
to go into it,
Unlike
whether
they
you
do
knew
now.
it or not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I liked the vignettes. I just, you know me, I love pomp and circumstance.
I know.
I want all of that. So just a girder with WrestleMania flashing on top of it, don't do it for me. I need a beat back video. I need fireworks going off. I need hands coming out of hell trying to grab your ankles. That is an intro. Okay. Half of the match is the intro.
Well, let me tell you this.
Boom.
10 years hence, 10 years prior to that, you wouldn't even have had that girder set. And Barris knows this. All you literally would have had was a curtain and a WWF symbol above the curtain.
No,
Yeah.
then they moved on to the Titantron, the first evolution of the Titantron.
I'm
that was
talking
4
about
TVs.
No, I'm talking about 10 year. I'm talking like 1988. There wasn't even that. It was just a curtain, the spotlight on the curtain,
Yeah.
What
and
did
WF
we
above it.
what? Wait. When we reviewed Mr. Perfect versus, was it Doink or something?
Yeah, that would have been early 90s. That would have been like
Okay,
92,
that
93.
they had the Titantron then.
It was that little TV wall.
Yes,
that they
it was
did.
a TV
Yeah.
wall. You know,
But
Yeah.
I'm
give it-
talking.
so you've got it in the basement. Go dig it up, whack it
Yeah.
up there, and just show something on it. All right.
But what I
Don't
was
leave
talking
me-
about was like WrestleMania 2, 3, 4,
Nah,
5,
yeah,
6.
obviously, because the technology wasn't around then.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
So,
you know, Vince has always been an early adopter to new like media technology. You know, WWE was one of the first companies to go HD. You know,
yeah, right.
yeah, those kind of things. He's an early adopter of those things. As much as you dislike it, JD, the Titantron is a big part of it now.
Oh no, I get
Yeah.
that. It's just I'm old school though.
Yeah.
Oh, this was the WrestleMania where Nash was over in WCW, and that Monday, him and Kevin Sullivan were talking
Yes.
at getting coffee and everything, and he goes, "You watched the show last night?" And he's like, "Yep." And he goes, "Yep, we're like the Titanic right now. We're taking in water. Do you hear the violin playing?"
Oh, they knew they were screwed.
just killed us. Yep, they knew it right out
knew
because
it
of how
right there.
well this was put together. Like every single match, they were like, "Nope,
Yeah.
we're done."
So I want to say something. It was just this WrestleMania. I don't know how to explain it, but I mentioned this to Logan. It felt like WrestleMania, but it had its own feel to it. Like
Yeah.
it's not like when the last couple years we were watching WrestleMania. It was just like, all right, it feels like we're just watching a wrestling show with the name WrestleMania on it. It did like
Exactly. That's how I felt, that it was an extended like pay-per-view in like the early 90s that just had WrestleMania slapped on it. But
You
it
mean
was
like
just
now?
like a monthly pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't.
You talking
Yeah.
about the WrestleManias now?
No, I'm talking about the WrestleMania that we just watched reminded me
Yeah,
of
that's what
like
I'm talking
a
about.
Survivor Series or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. All right, back in the 90s. That nowadays fucking
Oh.
WrestleMania is a joke. So you know,
Yeah, but this one just I mean, it just had a
it
had a
had
different feel to it.
It
But I
did.
enjoyed
did.
it.
It was quick. I like that
That's
as well.
what I liked about it.
And what
Yep.
you guys was saying about the little vignette things was spot on. The end of
Yeah.
that 40 seconds, I knew who the bad guy was. I knew who the good guy was. I knew what the bad guy was going to abuse on the good guy. You know, easy peasy. I loved it. It was great storytelling. And that came across in the ring as well. especially the Shawn Michaels Austin match. I mean, we'll get to that later. But let's go on with the matches, boys. Let's roll this quick.
So the first tag team battle royal. I'm not going to name all the teams again, but you had a surprise team entrant. It was I guess they were promoting that there was a mystery team that was coming in, and it was the return and new and improved Legion of Doom 2000 with Sonny as their manager.
So you knew from the first 8 seconds they were going to win.
That
was end of story.
Yeah.
So it basically made me disinterested in the match.
Really? Well,
yeah.
you weren't disinterested in Sonny, I can tell you that.
That's what I was more interested in. Like I said, I was disinterested in the match, not what we were watching. Okay?
Yeah.
Not outside the ring.
Sonny's outfit was quite provocative.
Very what outfit? there was some grass and plastic hanging on her. That's all.
That's perfectly fine by my standards. Thumbs up.
It was the most erotic thing I've ever seen.
Ooh, we haven't heard that in a while. Okay.
That's a minute right there.
But no, that's the Sonny of then, not so much the Sonny of now.
Well,
but I mean, we don't have to spend too much time on that match. It was basically, it's the rules of the matches were you have a bunch of
Legion of Doom. Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah. Each team was in there, and if one person of the team got eliminated, the whole team had to leave. The other person had to leave, and that was the thing. And there was one person that I noticed in the new Midnight Express, and I went, "Do you know who those two people are, Logan?" And Barris, don't answer, but do you know who the new Midnight Express, who the members were?
I'm shaking because I want to say it.
Okay. So I look at Logan. Yeah, I look at Logan, and I go, "Do you know who those are?" And he went, "No." And I went, "That's Bart Gunn and Hardcore Holly before he was Hardcore Holly." And he had that long blonde hair. And he looks at me and goes, "No shit." No, like, not no shit, like I knew that. And he's like, "No shit."
No
like,
shit.
Like, really?
Yeah. Like,
nope, that was Bodacious Bart and Bombastic Bob.
Bombastic
Bob.
When
Bob.
That's the one
I
couldn't
cried
remember.
when they said those names.
Because remember, I kept saying Bodacious Bart, and I'm like, I don't remember what Bob's was. Bob Holly was. It was Bombastic Bob, the new Midnight Express. Okay, so anyway, Legion of Doom wins that. Not so much of the match itself. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing that you're going to go, "Oh, I have to watch WrestleMania 14 to watch this first match." But anyway. So,
well, Sonny made that.
So, Sonny made the match. So the next match.
Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you, Sonny. So the next match was the Light Heavyweight Championship, which I totally forgot about who the Light Heavyweight Champion was. Like, as soon as I saw him, I went, "Wow, that's a name and a wrestler I haven't seen in years." Was Taka Michinoku, who was the champ, versus Aguila. And I think Logan was quite impressed with this match, actually.
Okay, so the match had some high-flying wrestling gymnastic shit going on. There was some crazy stuff. I highly recommend it just to watch this match, just for the technical ability of these two guys when they're bouncing off ropes. And I mean literally using the ropes as like bungee bounces. It was incredible. I cannot stress how good of an athlete these guys were. I can stress, however, how bad of a wrestler Aguilar is, because
he had his moments, but
yeah, I mean, the guy, beautiful when he's in the air, beautiful doing high maneuver stunts, backflips. You've got moonsaults. You've got bouncing off the ropes, double flipping, some sort of ice skating move in the air, land on someone's head. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible.
It was impressive.
It was. But when it got down to in the ring wrestling, no. Because the guy literally slapped like your mother was slapping your dad on the back after your dad realized that he'd just been searching for the keys for 10 minutes and they were actually in his pocket the whole time. All
Hey,
right.
Barris, I'm walking.
It was so bad. There was
I'm-
no connect
I'm
whatsoever.
walking over to Barris right now. Barris, this is how these slaps.
Yeah, what's
All right, you over there, Barris?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
This is how these slaps work. You ready?
Yeah.
Like you didn't even feel that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he was,
It was
slapping
like
Taka
hot.
Michinoku.
Even the kicking, like on the ground, Takamoko's, is it Takamoko?
Taka Michinoku.
Taka. Taka obviously was the better wrestler out of the two.
Excuse me.
He knew how to do his in-ring stuff, okay? But Aguilar, like there was this part, Taka was on the floor, and Aguilar's meant to be kicking him in the stomach. You blatantly saw that he literally just swung his heel back and tapped like the boot didn't even make contact.
Yeah,
with Taka.
there was some rough points there.
It was really
Yeah.
bad. But my God, as two acrobatic, like technical, high flying wrestlers, yeah, it's good.
All right, Barris.
Yeah.
Taka Michinoku's finishing move. Scott Steiner used to do it a lot. Not the Frankensteiner, not the Steiner recliner, but the screwdriver, pile driver, something what it was called.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like he would, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Taka Michinoku's finishing move. I just wanted to get the name of it correctly because if you could have seen the look on Logan's face when that happened. But no, it's like a screwdriver, pile driver. Like they pick them up.
Yeah.
Like a straight suplex.
And then they
but
just
straight in
drop.
the air, and he drops into it
Yeah.
like almost like a tombstone power bomb.
But it's almost like he's going to sit in a chair.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they just hit the, yeah.
Highly recommend the
I
match
believe-
as well, just to see that, because it was so well executed. We had to rewind it like twice to watch it again. It was amazingly done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him do that live, and I want to say it was at King of the Ring '98.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. And then he was a member of the Blue World Order, their international group, because he was on the first ECW pay-per-view as well.
Taka?
And yeah, if you go back and watch it, he was on the first ECW pay-per-view.
See, I'm trying to look up what the actual, I'm going to the Google machine. I'm trying to see what the actual name of it was. See, it's just not saying it. It's just coming up with like Taka Michinoku. The Michinoku. See, they're coming up with the name. It was called the Michinoku Driver, but there's an actual name for it. But anyway.
It was a good match.
It was a good
apart
match.
From the bad wrestling points. It
Now,
was bad.
This next match, the European Championship, Triple H with China in the corner.
This was a good one.
Well, you could say it was a good. I was hoping this was going to be a good one because what did I say to you, Logan? I went, "Ooh, Triple H and Owen. This is going to be a good match." They did do some good technical wrestling in it. Okay, but I was disappointed because it just seemed like the match was slow.
Oh God,
like
yeah,
really slow. That I wasn't disappointed on what they did, but I was disappointed on how slow the match went. It like seemed like it's almost like they both seemed off a little.
yeah. I think what it was, honestly, is before the whole Degeneration X thing, Triple H had been working well with China, okay, leading up to it and everything. And he could kind of trust China by herself outside the ring to do what was supposed to be done, okay? But I think what it was is he was really nervous when the whole gimmick of this match was pretty much China wasn't allowed to interfere, so they handcuffed her to Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, yeah.
If you know Sergeant Slaughter is WWF legend gold,
he was the commissioner at the time.
He was he was the shit right then.
Yeah.
And now China's involved in a skit with him that Triple H can't get involved in. So I think he was kind of half pooping himself in the match, thinking that something might go wrong. Because there was a big deal at the time. He was getting this push. You know, he was getting good with McMahon roll up. He was getting good airtime. Last thing he wants to do is be associated with somebody who's going to end up, I don't know, stabbing the commissioner in the eye by accident or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if the two guys hadn't like got in the ring and said, okay, let's have grapple. Let's have how much do you weigh? See if I can lift you. I think there wasn't preparation that. It felt a lot of the moves when they were done with extra care, because it was like they didn't know if they could do that move. They didn't know if they could, pick that guy up. It just seemed there was an element of caution to everything that was done in the match, which for me made it really, really slow and boring.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I go ahead. I could tell you want to say something.
Triple H was just coming off an injury too. He had
there you go.
I don't know if it was a knee or a leg, but he was walking around on crutches for a while before that. Because the one promo where he had I think the apron said like "suck the cook" or something like that, and he was making fun of Owen. He had been on crutches for months.
Wow.
Before that. So I think that's what they were doing.
That perfectly explains the match. It was a great technical match, but it was slow.
They're being extra careful.
With an element of caution.
Yeah,
to it.
That's it. Because I was impressed on what they were doing. It was just slow.
All right. Well, that makes up for that match. I'll still give that. It was a great match to watch.
It was. I was impressed.
Watch it. It's a good match.
Yep.
I mean, so far
that was when I was looking forward to, when that was actually going on.
Yeah, and anything with Owen, you're going to have a show.
Oh yeah.
So we are 1, 2, 3. That was the third match in, and this is the point where I was still going myself personally. You know what? I'm enjoying this WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Being the first time I've seen it since '98, I'm enjoying it because the pay-per-view itself is moving at a nice pace.
And you figure you're only a half an hour into actual wrestling time at that point too.
Yes.
Just a little bit under.
Yes.
And 27 minutes at that point.
And the other thing that was in the back of my mind, it was going, oh shit, we still have another. We're an hour and a half in and we've seen 2 matches. We still got another 22 and a half hours of WrestleMania to go.
Yeah.
And
literally
night one.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that. That's another
Next
show.
It's going to be like day one, and literally it's going to run for 24 hours.
We're going to have a WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
Each night there's going to be WrestleMania.
Every 8 hours, a new set of wrestlers wakes up and takes, part in their matches. They rotate out for a week. It's called WrestleMania week all long.
You're just giving them ideas. Stop.
Well,
Vince listens.
I sent Vince a letter with my suggestion of WrestleMania World.
A theme park.
Theme park with wrestlers.
We can charge people $1,000 a day. Just $1,000 just to walk in the door. And then they got to buy tickets to ride.
And then the NXT, which they've completely f***ed up right now.
Yeah.
They take all those wrestlers and they work in the theme park as like the wrestling event of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the anniversary of it open, they have like a Raw there.
I think we should do Barris Land.
Oh my
God. That'd be awesome.
You walk in, it's just things about the Rabbis everywhere. You could actually view his Rabbi Awards, and then for a small fee, get pictures with him, and then for a small fee, like how like the Honky Tonk Man went on the road and just told stories. And I mean, he wasn't a comedian; he would just get up there and tell stories, and people thought it was awesome. The Rabbis can do that like 3 times a day. He'll go up and you can go to the one theater and Rabbi and Barris Land and hear him just talk about his time on the road. Yeah.
Rabbi Land.
Q&A. Rabbi Land. He could be a Q&A with the rabbis.
You're bloody lucky, because when I laid out the plans for WWX Land,
oh God,
there was apparently all kinds of problems.
Wait a minute.
A family.
That's what the park can turn into at night.
Well, I was looking
go from Rabbi Land to WWX Land.
For the family angle here, man.
Excuse me. Wait a minute. That just reminded me. You said WWX. This is the point where if you have youngins listen, please like fast forward the show for a minute.
We haven't said
You
anything that
adults,
bad
you can
yet.
stay here, but there was a list of banned moves that came up during WrestleMania 14. One of them was the
Wait,
Logan's.
wait.
Do you have them, Logan? Okay.
Yes, I
okay.
do.
Oh,
Barris,
Jesus.
get ready for this, Rabbis. You might have to go get cleansed.
Oh my God. All right, here we go. The first move that is banned in WWX is oral wrongness. The second move banned by WWX is the provocative position.
Yes.
Was that Mandy Rose's new finisher?
I don't know.
And the last one was banned because it causes extreme injury to the penile area. The jaw jacker. Every single thing I just said there came out of JR's mouth.
Yes.
Every
Wow.
single one.
It did.
All right. And again, all right, hold on. If you're just back here from fast forwarding through the horrible section, all right.
Excuse me.
The combination of JR and King cannot be beat. It cannot. The two work so perfectly together. The commentary from JR was perfect, as always, spot on, just over the top zealotry sometimes. It was amazing. And like I just read those things out, okay? And they're funny. But when JR says them, he means them. And that's the great thing.
We got that jaw jacker going on there, you know.
Oh, he's giving some oral wrongness.
Yes.
Love it.
Okay.
The commentary was amazing the whole night. It was great for the whole event.
There was something else that JR said that we thought was hilarious. That was he said during this. No. That's later.
Say that when that comes up. Yeah,
I will when that comes up. That's already in my mind. But there was something else he said during our next match, which was the mixed tag team match. Mark Merrow and Sable versus the Artist versus Goldust and Luna. Okay. Remember when Goldust was up on the top rope and Merrow hit his leg and he fall and hit his junk?
Mm-hmm.
JR said something like, "Oh, he's not going to have an ankle problem where he just hit." It was something like that.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah, I do. It was.
I don't remember what it was. I guess it's not funny now.
I don't think he's going to have an ankle injury there.
Yeah, it was something.
Because King said something like, "It looks like he landed on his leg," and he was like, "I don't think he's going to have an ankle injury there."
Yeah, it was something, but it seemed more funnier when it happened. Sorry, audience. But this match was leading up that we saw the promo that I guess it was just this is where I call SOP, the standard operating procedure, of making a feud in this time in wrestling, where it was just Luna had a problem with Sable, Goldust had a problem with Mark Merrow, so weeks and weeks they were interfering in each other's matches, attacking each other, so on and so forth, which leads to the WrestleMania match. And this is when Goldust, not that he wasn't bizarre already, but this is when he was coming out dressed like, remember, he'd be dressed in like a green dominatrix like outfit, and you remember that, Barris? And
like the ball gag and everything.
Yeah, he'd have the ball gag, and his music was really weird. I just wanted to set the time that this was that Goldust, like really out there.
Now, were they starting to like push Sable and Merrow apart from each other? Like, was he blaming her for stuff already?
No,
I can't remember.
He was in the vignette. Remember?
Oh yes, he was. He was.
Like, he did all that, and then basically she wrote him a letter, I guess, saying they want to fight us as a mixed tag team. Come on down, and she didn't know if he was going to turn up.
Yeah,
but then he turned up.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, so it was the beginning of that, and then I remember at the end of the match, like Sable did the Sable bomb. Sable won, but Mero was acting like he won the match. Like so, it was in
Yeah, okay.
all this stuff was in its infancy. But
Yeah.
I do want to say is the match wasn't the match I enjoyed. It was a good match. Not much from Luna. I will say, I think this is the first thing I said to you. I was just like, Dustin Goldust, worked his ass off in this
Yeah.
match.
This match was 70% Gold Dust doing what he does best, and 20% Sable in a really tight outfit.
Even Mero didn't do much.
No,
I mean,
Mero didn't do shit. Luna, I don't know why Luna didn't do anything, because she's a wrestler.
Yeah,
she
I know.
can wrestle.
She didn't do anything.
But I think what it was is Sable isn't a wrestler. She just learned a couple of things by doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And, if Luna got in the ring with her, Luna would rip her apart, quite simply. So they had Luna playing the runaway scared girl instead.
And this is pre-oddities Luna, too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I enjoyed the match for literally watching Goldust wrestle and literally just looking at Sable. The match itself, no.
No, the match was like I just said, the match was, I mean, I enjoyed the match, but it was just the worker in that match was Goldust.
Yeah,
oh my God.
It was definitely hands up. Watch that match if you want to see a proper work, man, because that dude was in the ring working every angle.
He carried, and I know
carried
Mero,
the whole match. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Mero is a tremendous athlete, but he carried that match.
Yeah, easy.
Well, Mero was still trying to find his feet in WWE at the time, because all he really knew at that point was how to be Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah, and he was already Marvelous Mark Mero at this point.
Yeah. And so, like, he was still trying to find his feet away from that character. And like you guys said, Dustin knew what to do. He was, I'm going to guarantee he was just like, follow me, I'll get you there.
You're right.
I mean, that's just how good he is. And yeah, he was like, follow me, I'll get you there. Like, we'll get through it.
You're right, because all Mero knew how to be was Johnny B. Bad for all of those years in WCW. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And then that's just like telling Hulk Hogan, okay, he was, imagine, you have Hulk Hogan working for you for 15 years, and then he leaves WWE and goes to WCW, and they tell him, well, you have to learn how to not be Hulk Hogan now. You got to be someone else.
Yeah.
I could see that. That would be kind of rough, As much as he said he didn't like that Johnny B. Bad gimmick, he embraced it because he knew that was his job.
That was his bread and butter. He was making money.
But he didn't want to be Johnny B. Bad anymore,
Nope.
Because I do know when he showed up at WrestleMania 12, I remember hearing an interview with him. Or no, this was a recent from the last couple of years, but he was talking about when he finally made it, that Vince finally agreed to sign him. He was just like, thank God, because I guess Mero has been trying to get to work at that point back in WrestleMania 12. What would that have been, like 96? He was trying to work for Vince for at least 5 years already. He wanted to work for WWE.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those where he was under contract, and Vince was just like, we wouldn't have anything for you now. So when it actually happened, he was, hey, but.
And Vince wanted the Johnny B. Bad character. That's what he wanted.
He did.
Yeah.
Because it was over. The character was over.
Yeah. It was making money, had attention. There, it was just, people loved it. It was something, that could be gimmicky at the time, and that's what Vince liked.
And I think Mero owned that character, right?
I don't know if he did or if he didn't, because they didn't do it at all in WWE. So I don't know I don't think he did.
Yeah. I don't
know. WCW like property copyright then.
Well, we'll have to look that up one day. We'll have to do a show about that subject right there. What characters what wrestlers actually owned their characters, Yeah, but okay. So, next is the IC match, which was The Rock versus versus Ken Shamrock. And all I want to say is this match was just weird.
Yeah.
Weird is an understatement. Like, I don't even know how to describe this match. You remember this match, right? Right, Barris?
This one I really don't.
Okay.
And I watched this this tape when I was younger too, a while, because my friend had recorded it for me.
All right, let me run through something here real quick, and then you guys can fill in the gaps. Is basically you have The Rock defending his title against Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock runs down to the ring. There's a high. It's a very fast paced match. The match itself was not long at all. Basically, he just threw The Rock around, made The Rock submit, and then would not release the ankle lock. And this was when they were doing that whole thing with Ken Shamrock to where he would just snap. Oh, he's going to snap. He's snapping. He's going to his other world or whatever it is, And eventually they reversed the decision to where they took the title off of Shamrock that he just won and gave it back to The Rock. And then you hear the greatest line to where all these referees are down there. And after he was almost breaking The Rock's ankle, and then he starts beating up the referees and all the officials, and JR goes, Ken Shamrock, oh my God, does he know where he is and what he has done?
It was amazing.
But I mean, he didn't say it like that. It was JR fashion.
Because it was zoomed in on Shamrock's like face. And, when he went crazy, his eyes are like really open. He's like, oh. So anyway, he's doing that. It zooms in slowly on his face, and that's what you hear from JR. Does he know where he is? Does he know what he's done?
He has done.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But this match there's nothing to say about this match. It was just weird.
It's strange. It was quick. I wasn't impressed with it. The whole Ken Shamrock bit at the end was just, they were filling time.
Yeah,
that's much what it was. So I do not recommend it at all. It was the weakest match of the night.
Yeah, it was. So next,
that's so surprising. It was under a 5-minute match for the IC belt at a WrestleMania. That's kind of surprising to me.
Well, it was a launch pad for Rock, because this is when he was going to go babyface. Because Farouk, remember, he betrayed Farouk the week earlier by hitting him with a chair on the head or something.
Well, no, that was to bring heat on him, and this is before Farouk became APA.
Yeah, but then they did the same thing with him. And Farouk's like, screw you, blah blah. But the people are still cheering for the Rock.
Yeah.
And The Rock did, the People's Elbow. It wasn't called the People's Elbow back then.
No, it wasn't.
He did it, and when he did it, the crowd went nuts.
How
it
nuts?
Was nuts.
Oh, okay, good.
That's how nuts. All right, times that by 2. All right,
2 nuts. Wow,
that's where it was. Yeah. So keep your squirrels away. All right. Anyway, it was obvious that from the crowd reaction, they liked The Rock better than Ken Shamrock. Easy. There's not really much else to say about the match.
The match sucked. I'm just going to come out and say it. So you have the next matches. You have, and we're getting ready to actually wrap up here, Mania. These are the last 3 matches already. Can you believe that? It's a dumpster match for the World Tag Team Championship. It was Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, but he came out as Terry Funk with the chainsaw against the New Age Outlaws, and this was before the New Age Outlaws joined DX. Just wanted to make that note. This was another one that I enjoyed, but it seemed to move slow. This is the second one that just seemed to move very slow.
I think that's because Terry Funk moves very slow.
Well, he was, yeah.
So it was a comedy match. It was a gimmick match. It was
fun.
It was fun to watch. And there's a forklift involved in it. And I'm like, yes, forklifts. So, watch it for the comedy factor. Do not expect good wrestling.
There's not much to say about it. The only way to win was to throw your opponents, both of them, in a dumpster, and you had to close the lids. Other than that, it was sort of no DQ, you could do anything. And then they fought in the ring for a while. They fought out on the aisle for a while, and then they ended up back in the loading dock, and that's where the forklift came in, and they threw him into another dumpster. But it was a fun match. It was slow, in my opinion. Someone else out there listening might go, "Oh, JD, you're full of shit," but I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it was slow.
Now this is when on Raw they had put them in the dumpster and pushed them off the top of the
a couple weeks beforehand.
Yeah, and everybody was like crying, and Sunny was down there, and she was screaming like, "What have you done?" And they had shown DX go up to them and say, "That's how you get ratings. That's how you get noticed."
Yeah,
and that was kind of the start of them being associated. And I mean, they were like, hitting them in the chest, like, that's what you do. That's how you get noticed, kid.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of it. And little did we know the next day what was going to happen on Raw with everything. That was pretty sweet.
And I remember that night they threw him in the dumpster off the stage. Terry Funk was like convulsing and everything. And that was at the beginning of the night. And then I remember New Age Outlaws or something was in the ring again later that evening. And then all of a sudden, the camera's on the ring. All of a sudden, the crowd pops like you wouldn't believe. And there's Mick Foley running down the ramp in a hospital gown and also holding the the little stands that the IVs are on wheels.
Yep.
He's holding that while running down to the ring to go beat people up. I burned into my mind because I'd never heard, other than when Austin, came out, I've never heard any kind of crowd pop like that at that time. So, Logan, you're going to be able to contain yourself for this next one. I'm just going to let you go off on this one. Just go ahead. You go ahead.
All right,
go ahead.
Undertaker versus Kane. Let's get this shit on. All right. So, awesome match. Awesome match. And I'm not just saying this because Taker's in it, but mainly more because of Kane. Like Glenn Jacobs back then was a built. I mean, that man had muscle mass. But just like Mark Calloway's Undertaker, he was incredibly agile in his earlier career. I mean, there was a jump off the ropes he did that was like phenomenal, that turned into a flying clothesline, I think it was. But it was a phenomenal bit of athleticism from him. It was a great match. It's an Undertaker match. Watch it. It's amazing.
I like his outfit. His entrance attire, his ring robe, so to speak, was beautiful.
All deck out. This is when he was kind of going into the Vlad the Impaler Undertaker stage, so watch it. It is really cool. And of course, our boy up there, Percy. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else to say about the match. I mean, you had some good high flying, you had some good wrestling. I lost count of how many tombstones happened in the match. In a way, even though Taker won, this is my personal opinion, even though Taker won, he really put over Kane.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really put over Kane.
Taker took a beating. And I think JR says it perfectly. He's never seen a wrestler so physically damage the Undertaker like Kane did. And you believe it, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. There was this, and we were around it, I think, because we were around it a little bit. And Taker, he took off like a torpedo into the buckles, and it made Kane look superhuman strength. It was great. And the thing that I loved about this match as well is, even though Kane is practically a carbon copy of the Undertaker model, all right?
Yeah.
Think about it like this, though. They have two very distinct styles to them, okay? Undertaker is very, let me say, coordinated in the ring, okay, with his stuff. He likes to plan out what he does. When he gets hit down, he does the dead man sit up, okay? And you expect these things.
So on and so forth,
okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slow and methodical match that the Undertaker makes seems faster than it actually is, okay? So With Kane, you've got exactly the same thing, but done in a different motif. If you watch the whole match, every time Kane goes down, instead of doing the carbon copy Undertaker sit up, instead he rolls himself up without touching the mat with his hands. And he basically just stands, and it's like a carbon copy of Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
Okay,
You did say
straight
that.
from the movies. Every time, bang, flat, straight back up again, straight down to the Undertaker, never ending march.
Well, that's what Cornette said about Kane when they were coming up with the concept. That's what they were going for, was a like Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Psycho. Like that's what they were going for with that character. And Glenn pulled it off. I mean,
He did.
if I had to talk about this match, I'd say this is one of the slower matches of the night. Really didn't intrigue me at all. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a good match.
Logan was ready to like burn holes. Like
Oh.
he was giving you that stare, man.
Oh, I saw smoke coming out of the box over there.
Yeah, that was the flamethrower I was lighting.
Spaceball's the flamethrower. He's like, all right, I got this. Don't worry.
You're right there. Okay, yeah, I mean that's cool though.
But yeah, no, I mean, all joking aside, yeah, no, that's where they were going with him. And dear God, I mean, the matches they had when he first came in,
were fantastic.
like you said, I mean, Taker, was doing what he does best, and I mean, they just clicked and ran with that concept. I mean, and look how long it lasted. I mean, dear God, I mean, they just kept up, through intervention and through, like metamorphosizing, into like a newer version of the characters to keep it fresh. They kept it going. I mean, it was never boring with them. Like you knew you had a match on your hands to watch when they were together, or going against each other.
Yeah, great. It's just a great match to watch. The two, you can really feel that you are literally watching two brothers, one who burnt down the other one's house, now fighting in a goddamn wrestling ring, because that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
right.
You're there, you're sucked into it. The vignette the beforehand was great, explained the whole story. Okay, you get the whole parts with Paul Bearer, God bless him. All right, it was just a fantastic intro and big event. Like this felt more like a main event than the main event did.
And the great thing that happened was this when we saw our boy at the Spanish announce table fall out of that chair?
Oh my God. Yes, this is the match for the Spanish announce table. Ridiculousness.
There's no way to describe it. You just have to watch it.
You just have to watch it. It's about halfway through the match. Kane's outside the ring. Taker jumps over the top rope. An amazing achievement for a guy who's nearly 7 foot tall and like 300 pounds. Kane literally just like catches him in midair and just like keeps him going and throws him straight down on the announcer table. The announcer falls off his chair, but it is literally in slow motion.
It's hilarious. It's great.
It's just, you could add like old cartoon sound effects, like ooh, like legs in the air moving around, and it would fit perfect. It was so comical, it needed rewound. That's how good it was.
A couple of
times. And it was again later on in the night. They showed it as a replay.
They did.
It was just awesome.
You just dude, go to this match in WrestleMania 14, just watch it for the match, and also the added bonus is see the Spanish announce table get destroyed, and how they fall out of their chairs is just classic.
Yeah, it was a great match to watch. It's just good. It felt like a main event to me.
So,
like I said,
speaking of main events, here is the main event of WrestleMania 14. You have champion Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, with Mike Tyson as the special ring enforcer, which Mike Tyson is wearing DX colors during this match.
Yes, I guess the build up to this was like Tyson was in with DX.
Yeah,
and that was pretty much it. And they were like, the night before or something like that. They tied him up in a ring and they like both kissed his head or something.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that was the workout, the WrestleMania workout they had outside,
Mhm.
and Shawn Michaels had a battery thrown in his
that's
head,
right.
and he walked off, and Vince was pissed. He goes, "I don't care what happens, you don't walk out on an audience." And then he went back out, and they had him tied in the ropes, and they both kissed his head for a photo op.
Okay.
But I mean, but I'm like, it's like, back even in the music days, like something comes flying at you and you don't know it's coming, man. I don't care what it is. That sucks. That's just a horrible feeling. And whoever did it, screw you,
Yeah, right.
because you're a dick.
Yeah.
You're a dick. Because I mean, a battery, like what the hell were you thinking?
What if that?
Like,
What if that got him right in the eye?
yeah,
You
like what'd
know.
you do? Take it out of your pocket, massager like that you had in your pocket, like you sicko. Like you don't launch a battery at somebody who is not expecting it coming.
Yeah. I mean,
There's a guy, all right, living somewhere where WrestleMania 14 was. And he turns on his computer and he's going through the internet. And, ring the bell radio. I'm going to listen to that. It's an English guy on there. He's really cool. Don't know about the other two, but I'll keep on listening anyway.
son of
Wow.
Wait, what's this about a battery? Oh my God. I happened to be there at that exact time. And I was changing the batteries in my Walkman, and the spring was really tight, and it fired one off, and I couldn't find it on the floor.
Yeah.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Why are they blaming me? Why? And yeah, that guy is now gonna be forever alone because of you, Rabbi.
He should be
Good
alone.
for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Love it.
There's really not much.
Spring was wound too tight.
There's really not
great.
much to say about this match.
No, I mean,
there's not. It was. Everyone knows. I mean, at this point, if you want to watch the match, go watch it. I don't have anything really to say about it other than
I
it's
do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, right. This is the last match Michaels had before his retirement due to injury, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
they didn't act like it. Oh my God! Like Michaels tried to do a roll up on the turnbuckle from a throw and missed it completely. His back hit that thing at like 30 miles an hour straight on. Like it was impact after impact after impact on his back. Like it was crazy nuts how many impacts he took. But I'm sitting there going like, what? You could tell later on in the match that it was affecting him. JD kind of worked it out.
You just saw how he was bending over. I'm like,
yeah,
that's not a work.
Yeah.
He's really hurting right there.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you could definitely tell.
They must have shot him up with so much cortisone, like just to walk in that ring and do that. It was for a guy, people are going to sit there and say, why would you injure yourself like that? And they got to understand people like Michaels do it for the fans. This was his last hurrah before he didn't know if he could ever come back. So
no, and he was bitter about it too.
Yeah.
He was really bitter about it.
It was just so angry. But Michaels gave a performance. He didn't hold back. And going back to the Hunt-Hurst Helmsley match, the Triple H match earlier on, you saw what gentle wrestling was, because that's what they did. Michaels had none of that at all. Like, I mean, he hit turnbuckles. He's been thrown out the ring. He's been everything. He took a beating on his spine. And I don't know.
He got hit with a cymbal,
yes.
like a drum cymbal. Like,
craziness, man. It was just beyond nuts. But you could take two ways, though, and say he's a man who loves his craft, or you could take it he's a man who just wanted to prove that he could still do it.
Yeah.
And I think that.
Now, funny side story for that.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite, The Undertaker. I don't know if you know about this story or not. There were rumbles in the back that Shawn wasn't going to do business. He wasn't going to lay down for Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And so Undertaker went to Gorilla dress, black jeans, black shirt, like, after match apparel, and sat there and taped up his fist. And this was, I think it was Jim Cornette who was saying, he was sitting there watching him. He goes, he sat there and watched that entire match. And when they did the ending and Michaels lay down and they counted one, Tyson counted 1, 2, 3. Undertaker stood up, unwrapped his fist, and walked off. Because
he was waiting.
You have to walk, unless, I think it was Cornette who said it in an interview, unless you want to walk out in the main street of New York, Boston, in your underwear, you have to walk through that curtain. And the first person he was going to see was Taker. And that's because Taker is a badass. I give you that. And yeah, once he saw he did it, he untaped his fist and he said, okay. He's like, I'm good.
Wow.
So I'm not sure if you knew about that, but I'll have to try to find that Jim Cornette interview.
I've had a couple of stories where Taker has literally been like, waited behind for someone, even if it was just to congratulate them on the match, especially like the new guys coming in, or basically to lay the smackdown on them. I remember Glenn Jacobs saying in an interview that, after I think it was like his first match or something like that, Taker was watching tapes of him wrestle, and he's like, "What are you doing here? What is this about? This is crazy. No, you don't do it like that. Do it like this." And Undertaker just started like going off on him. And Glenn Jacobs was like, I'm just like wide mouth, wide open, like, oh my God. I mean, screamed at. Everyone's just going around like normal. And he's like, the Taker didn't do it to be a dick. He did it because he saw potential in me.
Yeah, right.
And he knew that just some slight refinements, I could be what he wanted me to be. And he was like, and if it wasn't for Taker in my corner doing things like that. And he's like, when we went up as a tag team, he was like, it was probably, I learned more in those tag team matches with the Taker than I'd learned my whole wrestling career before that. And I'm like, that just shows you there how well the man did his craft.
Yeah. So there you have it. That's WrestleMania 14. It's in the books again. I don't think it was anything really to go screaming, and it was fun. It was fun
to watch.
It was fun, and it was right at that corner of the change of the business. The next day it took that turn.
Yeah.
So it has its place in history where, like you said, it didn't seem monumental, but it was.
But it was.
Like it had to happen.
You can check us out at ringthebellradio.com. Go there, click the big red button that says listen to the podcast. You'll see our whole past library of shows. You can also listen to us on Spotify or your favorite podcasting platform. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. King Logan is, or not King Logan, Rabbis is going to be on MySpace yet again. And he's going to be getting his AOL, he's trying to resurrect AOL Instant Messenger. In other words, in other news, please send all hate mail to Rabbi Barris. Please send all fan mail, if you're a fan of King Logan, to King Logan. Yes, Barris loves the hate mail. Logan loves the love mail. So, there's nothing else. Rabbis has important rabbi things to go do. Logan has important king things to go do. I am just important all the time. So, until next time, like I told Vicky, wear your seatbelt, drink milk, don't run with scissors. This has been Ring the Bell Radio, a wrestling podcast. We'll see you next time.
The Pro Wrestling Vault. 35 short stories including Harley Race, Ricky Morton, Tracy Smothers, and Tim Storm. Along with 300 photos from the independent scene. Taken from Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Get your book today by going to WrestleVille.com or LanceByChance.com. WrestleVille. It's where wrestling lives.